All right. Thank you for tuning in to Elliott Wave Made Simple. We are going to take a look at the Nasdaq. Now, if you've been following us, if you've been inside of the Professor Trades Club, you will know that we were stalking a long entry along with my Elliott Wave chart that I've been posting. We've been looking for a bottom, and it is possible that we have already bottomed or we are very close to bottoming. And I think this opportunity is multiple hundreds of points if you're able to take a long trade from this region. Let's dive into the chart and take a look. All right, so if you've been in the club and you've been following us, I haven't changed this chart. I created this chart on Monday, July 15th, with this projection, and it's been playing out beautifully. And as I posted in the room, if you're in the Professor Trades room, you'll know that I was short over here. I had a failed short attempt here, got a little bit of a scalp going. Then I laid out. I just waited. I laid out. I waited. And once this broke support here, I shorted. Then I covered too early. But then what I did is I waited. And I had open orders, 3 open orders, one at the 2382, one in the middle, and one at the 2618. And the one at the 2618 is still operative. And what I'm expecting is this to get a bounce. Now, I don't know if the bottom is in or not. But based on Elliott wave, if this has just completed 5 waves down, let's see, 19,168. If this has completed 5 waves down, then the bounce would be considered a wave 2, which is typically constructed of 3 waves and typically will strike anywhere from the 382 to the 618. But I got to tell you, more and more with the volatility that's in markets, typically it's more like the 618 to the 886, 2983.75, 2983.75. So I like to get these right on the penny best I can, because with Elliott wave, we count the wicks. We count the entirety of the price action. So just quick and dirty review. Can you see this purple? I know some of you guys are on phones. Let me just try to expand this a little bit. So if you can see these purple labels, we were looking for a 5-wave structure down, starting with this as being wave 1, followed by a 3-wave move for wave 2, followed by a wave 3 that just exceeded the 1618, which is a standard target for an Elliott wave 3. And then we got a 3-wave bounce for a wave 4. And look at this. I always use these boxes. I always make my wave 4s in blue. And the minimum retrace would be 236, typically anywhere from 236, honestly, up to the 50% level. But we use structure to give us clues. So in this case, this very much looks like an ABC right up to the 382, almost to the penny. Whereas this wave 4 of the internal structure, this wave 4 got to the 236. These are common targets for wave 4. This is a good place to interject something. If you're in the Professor Trades Club, you know that analysis, once you find out something that works, analysis tends to be repetitive. Trading is repetitive. When you find something that works, you begin doing the same thing over and over again across different instruments. Of course, there's nuances to certain instruments over other instruments. You have to become aware of that. But in general, the professor, when you watch him make his charts inside of his club, he's so generously sharing all day long, he's actually performing the same type of methodology over and over again. And that's why we keep watching his videos. Try to duplicate his charts on your own. Literally, try to duplicate his charts on your own, because over time, you're going to be able to make those charts for yourself. And I think the same thing applies for Elliott wave. That's why I'm taking my time to explain what is a wave 4 and how do I measure for it. So wave 4 is a bounce that retraces typically 236 to 382% of the entire length of wave 3. So for example, this blue wave 3, I measure for this wave 4 retrace by putting my fib retracement tool at the top of wave 2 in blue, at the bottom of wave 3, and then that projects to the 236 to the 382. That is where wave 4 typically terminates. Now, in this next example of the next larger degree, which is in purple, it's this wave 2 up here and the purple wave 3. This is where I put my fib tool, at the top of purple wave 2, at the bottom of purple wave 3. Here's the 236 and the 382, which I almost always make the wave 4 measurement in blue for consistency. And price came right up to the 382 and got rejected. And now look at this drop. Came all the way down into this box, which I've had on the chart for quite a while, which is a ratio box. More on that later. And it is possible that wave 5 is done. Now, it's also possible that wave 5 is not done, and this is a wave 4 bounce, and we're going to get a further decline. I am long. I'm going to be watching this. So a parameter of sorts would be to put the next fib on there just to see if price rather does break the bottom of my ratio box. The next fib is quite a ways down. So my preference is that this was in a hurry to complete this 5 wave and that is over. But you know what? It doesn't matter what I say. These are just words. Price is king. So I'm long with another open order down here. And at some point over the next day, I'm going to zoom in. This is a 1 hour chart, by the way. I'm going to zoom in and look at this microstructure in here, take some measurements, and try to discern whether or not this is a wave 4 bounce with one more shove to come, or if that was it. I must say, because of this ratio box here, a great majority of the time, a wave 5 terminates inside of this ratio box. Okay. Now, what does this mean? If the low is in, you're talking about getting from just say 19,200. This is 1,000 points. Now, I'm not saying that it's coming. I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving parameters. If the bottom is in, I think it would be very reasonable to look for a 3-wave correction. Now, one thing I can tell you about 3-wave corrections, wave A often targets the 382. Now, listen, I don't want you to think that, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't want you to think that I'm predicting something with any level of certainty because I need more structure. Like, I'm not even sure if this bottom is in, but if it is, this kind of action would not be unusual to see a 3-wave correction somewhere up in here, up in this zone, and the first stop, and if it's going to bounce, if the low is in, the first stop would be very reasonable to expect it to get to this A wave and get rejected right up in the same territory as this wave 4. All this noise and traffic and congestion. This bounce could terminate there for an A wave, get a B wave bounce, and then get a 5-wave move up for C, and then a much, much deeper and devastating pullback. But we don't need to speculate on that. We're day trader scalpers, although I must say this is giving you a swing trade potential. If the low is in, it would not be unreasonable to see 600 points from here, 400 to 600 points. And that's fair. That's reasonable. Okay. So that's the deal. If you have questions about Elliott Wave, I welcome you to make a comment. I definitely reply as best I'm able to. And if you're watching this video for the first time, you're from YouTube and you like what you're seeing and you feel like you're getting some value out of my parameters, go ahead and subscribe so you'll be sure to get the future updates. Also, if you're looking for help on your psychology, looking to improve your trading, stop blowing up accounts, get better idea of how to take gains more quickly, more consistently, you got to follow theprofessortrades.com. The link to his club is in the description of this video. For less than $1 a day, I cannot believe the value that my man Armando, the professor, is giving away daily, day after day. And I always tell him, me meeting him, discovering him about 7 months ago, is just like peanut butter and jelly, because the Elliott Wave gives you ability to leave a runner on for potential extension. But Armando His trade rate is over 80% success rate on his trades over a 1-year period. And the guy is trading a lot. So don't take my word for it. Come join the club. The link's in the description. I'll look to see you in there. There's about 300 members in there tearing it up. A lot of highly skilled traders sharing information openly. But mainly it's Armando. He's the king of scalps. Anyway, come join us. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. I appreciate it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the room soon. Bye-bye.